Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Ori, and today I'm going to be going over a little bit of the protection side of a warrior and how to cope with it in RBGs. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because I have gotten a lot of questions, and I do mainly flag carry as protection. So I'm going to be going over things like talents, glyphs, stats, some of the key races that you could pick over certain other things, macros, trinkets, just kind of a broad spectrum of a lot of things. So let's get right into it. I'm going to start off with my talents. Now, I really like double time over Warbringer or Juggernaut because you are going to be getting gripped back and forth and whatnot. So having that double time there is really key for when you are flag carrying. Second wind, it's almost mandatory for any spec of warrior if you're PvPing. I mean, arms of course is the primary DPS. But second wind is still really good just because you are generating that extra health as soon as you hit 35% health. Now, this tier, I see a lot of people go Piercing Howl or Staggering Shout, and some go Disrupting Shout. I like Disrupting Shout just because I feel I can do a little bit more with interrupting healers if they're in the back with me, or disrupting a Warlock, casting a Chaos Bolt, just stuff like that. In the 60 tier, we have Shockwave or Bladestorm. Bladestorm is really good for flag carrying, but at the same time, Shockwave is really big for when your DK is going to grip someone back, and you can just charge them and Shockwave them, and they're going to be stunned there for a solid couple of seconds. So it gives you another CC to do compared to getting out of a root or becoming immune to something, but you can still just get death grip back. That's why I like Shockwave a little bit more. Now, in the second last tier, we have Mass Spell Reflect or Safeguard. I really like Mass Spell Reflect because it is reducing damage every 1 minute. I mean, it might be something so small, like just something small. It could be a Flame Shock from a Chamois or something stupid like that, something that's going to do almost nothing, but it's still reducing the damage that your team's taking so that your healers can do a little bit more. Now, Safeguard is really good as well because you are going to give the person that you safeguard 20% less damage, but at the same time, it's still kind of on the edge for me. I guess it's also depending on what kind of comps we're going against, because if it's going to be like a heavy melee comp, I may take Safeguard because I can safeguard my Resto Chamois or Monk or whatever I have with me. But again, Mass Spell Reflect, really good for reflecting CC, damage, anything like that. Now in the last tier you have two viable talents. You have Avatar. The reason I like Avatar is because it does break your snares. It was really good back when it made you completely immune, but they changed that since then. So the reason I like Avatar more than I do Stormbolt is because a lot of your players have a stun, and they're looking to switch onto someone with a stun so that they can make sure that they get them dead. So get someone in a deep freeze, get someone in an asphyxiate, something around those lines. Now that rogues are being reintroduced into RBGs, a lot of rogue stuns are going to be going out from Cloak and Dagger. So again, I really like Avatar. It also increases your damage, so you can help a little bit if someone gets death grip far back enough, but again, it's kind of on the border there. Now guys, let's talk about our glyphs. Now, for the main glyphs we have a couple options. For starters, I'm going to go with what I like to take. Now, I like to take Glyph of Spell Reflect because having Spell Reflect up every 20 seconds, again, you're reflecting at least something, putting it back on them, whatever it is. It's reducing damage taken by you and inflicting onto their team. Heavy Repercussions. It allows your Shield Slam to hit for an additional 50 damage. This is huge, especially as a prot warrior because we do have very little damage output, but having Heavy Repercussions allows you to do a lot more damage. Like, I've gone up against a rogue buddy of mine in RBGs, and I was able to get him down to about 20% before his team showed up, and he got me down to about 30%. So, as a prot warrior, being able to do that, of course I did have my cooldowns up, was really big for my team, although it was at the end and we did end up losing, but again, it was very big for my team. And then I like to take Glyph from Death from Above. The reason is because Prot Warriors just need a little bit more mobility, and so having your heroic leap on a 30-second cooldown compared to 15 is a pretty big thing. Now there are other options that you have. I mean, you could take Glyph of Hindering Strikes if you are spinning a flag, long charge if you want. I mean, the possibilities are endless, so it's really what you feel. I mean, Glyph of Shield Slam is also very good, but again, I prefer these talents, or these glyphs, sorry, over any other ones, just for the simple reasons I listed again. Now, guys, let's go over our stats. Now, stats are really kind of up in the air. Now, the reason I say this is because there are only 3 maps that I ever go protection on. That's Warsong Gulch, Twin Peaks, and Battle for Gilneas. The reason I go prot for these is because for Battle for Gilneas, I'm sitting there defending. For the other 2, I'm going to be a flag carrier, so it's really key that I am protection for that. Now, as a Prot Warrior, you're going to want to be at around 3% hit and around 6% expertise, just because you are spinning a flag, and so if you do just so happen to get dodged and it's at the 7.5 marker or whatever that they get dodged, then you're going to want to have that extra hit and expertise just so you can't. Now, the next primary stat that you're going to want to do is, of course, resilience. Resilience out the ass. The only gem that doesn't have straight up resilience on it for me is my legs, and the only reason is because I didn't want to change out this gem at the particular time. But I will when I do go into a flag carrying situation. Now, after resilience, you're going to want to stack mastery. The reason is because mastery helps protection warriors a lot. The mastery for protection warriors is critical block. So it increases your chance to block by 5% and increases your chance to critically block by 23%. So mastery is really big for warriors over any other secondary stat. The reason I've done it this stat priority is because it affects you as a whole. Now, hit and expertise you need, and then you want to stack resilience because resilience is probably one of the best stats that you can stack. And then after resilience, you're going to want to stack mastery. That's the way it's been since Cataclysm, and I think that's going to be the way it'll stay. Now, I haven't really done too much theory crafting on it, but it might be viable to stack a little bit of stamina, but I don't think it'll be as viable as stacking resilience. Now, I'm going to be going over the best races that you can pick as a protection warrior. Now, a lot of this does go for arms as well, but mainly protection. Now, one of the key ones is, of course, human. You get 2 PvP trinkets. The reason I like this is because you get 1 on use or the proc if you decide, and then you also get the one that gives you health. Now, the one that gives you health is really nice, and you're going to take that no matter what race you are. But the damage one is also really good for when you are having to solo defend something, or you are bursting, or whatever you're doing. Dwarf is also very good because Dwarf does have stone forms, so you are going to take a lot of bleed effects off of you, and also you're going to take reduced damage. Now, I don't like Dwarf as much because again you're missing that trinket, and like I said, I do go arms for a lot of my RBGs. Then you have Night Elf, you get increased dodge from Night Elf, so it's again really good. And then the last one for Alliance I would have to say is Worgen, because you do get that extra Worgen sprint. You do also get a little bit of passive crit, but still, if I had to pick 2 different specs, or 2 different races, sorry, to go with, I would definitely pick Human or Dwarf for Alliance. Now for Horde, my top choice would have to be Orc. The reason is because they do have a passive stun reduction, so if you do get the meta that reduces your stun duration again, you're going to take reduced stuns, which is going to be really big for especially this patch when rogues are so buffed and you're going to be seeing them in RBGs. Undead is also really good just for the fear break, but still I don't think it's going to be as good as Orc. Tauren, you do get a little bit of a stamina buff, but it's off your base health, not your full like maxed out health, so it doesn't make too much of a difference, but you still do get War Stomp. so you do get a stun, although I don't know if it's going to be that good. And then my final choice would have to be Goblin, just for the rocket jump. Although it still isn't as good as the Worgen sprint, it still will make a little bit of a difference, I think. But again, so my top 2 picks would have to be Human for Alliance, Horde, Orc for Horde, and then you have Dwarf, and then Tauren. Hey guys, what's up? I hope you enjoyed the video, and please subscribe to TGN WoW, subscribe to my channel, and also follow my stream, which you can find below. I plan to do a little bit of streaming and uploading some other content to my channel shortly. So, like I said, please make sure you follow TGN WoW, and again, I will be releasing another one of these videos, just going over a little bit more. Anyways guys, I'll talk to you later, and have a good day.